You're actually on privately run grounds, so it's a police station.
Ah, I see.
If you'd like to come to the public area,
would that be privately run on the basis that it's publicly funded?
Yeah, but that's not relevant to the fact that it's public infrastructure.
It's highly relevant. Hold on. It's highly relevant.
You're trespassing on the police station.
Okay.
Is
trespass a civil or a legal matter? Is trespass a civil or a legal matter?
Do you have a request of the police?
Yes, answer the question. Is trespass a civil or police matter?
Do you have a request?
I'll answer the question for the benefit of my viewers.
I think
it's
what
a civil
you're here
matter.
to do is to ask silly questions.
It's a civil matter. It only becomes a police matter when it's aggravated trespass.
If you could
you do me one favour just to carry on with this consensual conversation? Provide me with 3 forms of address.
Provide you with 3 forms of address?
Identity, my apologies.
I think you are asking some irrelevant questions.
And I'll do it myself.
Oh,
look at your rank. Oh, dear me, you know better than that, sir.
I think you're asking questions which aren't relevant.
Here we are, on duty, covering identification.
I'm not because you don't...
Could you, for the benefit of the audience, say what those 2 diamonds represent in your rank?
What they represent is that I'm asking you...
The inspector starts by calling the area private property, but quickly avoids discussing the fact that public funds support the site. When that argument struggles to hold up, the focus shifts to claims about trespass. PA keeps the discussion simple by asking whether it's actually a police matter or a civil issue. At the same time, the inspector expects answers from others while avoiding basic identification himself.
Do you have a reason to be on
Right now I do.
Premises?
Right now I do. It's to identify you.
As we haven't met, I'm wondering why you're being so hostile.
Then introduce yourselves.
Come to the public area.
If we played police bingo today, we've got hostile, private ground when it's public. A lot of people ticking boxes at the moment. It is cliche corner, isn't it? Stick within the bounds of the law. Identify yourself. You're in uniform. That's a second formal offer. You have the opportunity to redress your error.
Have a silly conversation
for the 3rd and final time before it goes on record.
Of an office building.
On the record for the 3rd and final time, will you identify yourself while you're in the course of your duty?
What I'm not going to do.
Yes or no?
Is I'm not going to give you permission to put
you're not identifying yourself. This is no longer a consensual conversation.
Onto the internet.
I will take it up with your superiors.
You don't have permission to put that video on the internet. You don't have personal permission.
Tell me the law that precludes me from doing it.
You're not in a public place.
Tell me the law that precludes me from doing it.
I'm telling you that I'm not giving you personal permission to put any video onto the internet.
Don't need it.
But just so that you know.
Did you watch the Twin Towers come down?
That is relevant.
Did you watch the Twin Towers come down?
Goodness me.
Did you?
You're one of these. Okay.
Oh, one of these. Bingo time, boys. Here we go.
You're going to tell me that the police knocked the Twin Towers down or something like that?
No, don't be silly.
The conversation changes the moment the inspector stops controlling the exchange. PA remains calm, polite, and focused on straightforward questions. Yet that steady approach seems to create frustration. The claim that permission is needed before footage can be shared adds another weak argument to the mix. It starts to look less like rule enforcement and more like discomfort with being recorded.
Public place, and we can keep talking.
There we go.
At the moment, there's people who are...
Did your constabulary put these council painted lines down?
They have no relevance to public roads.
They're public. It's publicly funded.
No,
1972 Criminal Justice Act, Section 33, implied rights of access.
There are signs at the front
which I've read and I've recorded and narrated to, and I haven't been anywhere.
Like you're an angry man.
Anywhere
you're an
that I shouldn't be.
Who doesn't like public services.
Do you think personal insinuation is the way for a senior officer to behave?
This is an observation. You seem to be very angry.
Angry?
You're here on a police station. You clearly don't like the police.
Would you be delighted if your rights were violated?
Back into.
Would you be delighted? No, you wouldn't.
Very argumentative, and it's far
less. That's a crime, isn't it? What constitutes authorisation? I'm asking you now, as a member of the public. I work in a public service.
I think that you've got a general dislike of the police.
I work in the public service.
Okay.
Things become even more difficult when the inspector tells PA to move to a public area. PA points out road markings commonly found on public highways, raising obvious questions about that claim. Instead of addressing those points directly, the discussion shifts toward personal remarks. That response does little to strengthen the inspector's position and leaves key questions unanswered.
If people came to where you worked to start arguments with a hostility towards what you do...
They'd be allowed to film and I'd have to identify myself.
Okay.
firstly, identify yourself as you're
the reason I'm
obligated
not going
to do. The reason you're not going to, because you're
here
acting...
with an axe to grind, and you don't like
Speculation, overruled. Speculation, overruled.
Give you public service.
See how this will pan out in court? Speculation, overruled.
This won't end up in court.
No, it won't, because your side will settle before it goes there to make a formal complaint about your lack of identification. I'll take it to the relevant
but
body.
I'm not in public.
I beg. You're on duty.
I'm always on duty.
Exactly, and you have to identify whether you're in plain clothes or not.
I'm not in a public place.
Yes, you are.
I'm not dealing with the public.
Remember, this
you are on private property. So what I'm not going to do is
taken
give
up
you
by
a name
solicitors
to put onto the internet for your angry website where you don't like public
angry
services.
website, classic this geezer.
You don't seem to have any questions. What do you want from this interaction?
Who am I speaking with? You're now obligated under two rationales. Your code of ethics, and your policies.
Please tell me about the code of ethics.
I think it's the other way around. You need to adhere to.
Look at your senior.
Look at the ranking.
You're giving me
look
all
at the rank.
What would you like?
Look at the rank.
What would you like to?
This is how you behave.
What would you like to achieve?
They always say shit travels downwards, don't they?
Well,
this is where professional standards begin to slip further. The inspector refuses to identify himself and bases that decision on personal feelings rather than clear policy. PA highlights that transparency and identification are important parts of public service responsibilities. The focus moves away from facts and toward excuses that fail to address the actual issue.
Sensitive site.
Sensitive. Put some soothing lotion on it then if it's sensitive.
So you're funny as well as interesting.
Brilliant.
Every one of your viewers will find this fascinating. Just don't walk towards my staff, because unlike me, they're not used to people who dislike the police wandering around. Hello, hi, do you have some identification? You do? If you could wear it when you walk around, that would be very useful.
This is a conversation you're having from a man who refuses to identify, so just take note of the hypocrisy from a senior member of your staff.
If you have no reason to be here, then I'll ask you.
Just see the rank hypocrisy of your comment then.
Because I'm going to challenge them if they don't have a reason to be here.
Yeah, you reply one rule to them and not to yourself.
Dislike for the police.
I
don't know why you dislike the police.
I'll tell you what that is. That could be construed as slander.
Well, my observations, my personal opinion.
Whilst on duty. You're not here to enforce personal opinions, you're here to enforce the law. Thank you very much for saying that on camera.
You seem to be rather angry. Please don't walk towards where people are working.
And what happens if I do? Sorry, let me rephrase. What happens exactly when I do?
You're well aware that it's
doing as we speak.
It's a complicated practice, isn't it? It's not a clear principle.
Calling the location a sensitive site appears to be another explanation introduced late in the discussion. If that standard truly applied, it would likely be enforced consistently for everyone, not only when camera appears. PA points out that difference clearly and effectively. The exchange increasingly feels driven by personal preference rather than a clearly defined rule.
Public access beyond this point. You know
no, it didn't. It said no unauthorised access.
You know full well why we have that. Because of the dangers that police officers face.
Here we go.
And because of the hostilities from people ranging from casual, camera-wielding, angry people who don't like society and have a problem with public services.
I work in public service.
Through to violent acts.
This is brilliant.
Through to violent acts.
Am I committing a violent act?
No, that's
Am I intimidating you?
So that range.
Am I intimidating you?
If you'd like to be famous, I suggest you come up with some content that has a purpose, or ask a question that you think you might get an answer to.
You're less than Wayne Couzens.
Rants like this, citing.
You're less than Wayne Couzens.
Bits of information.
Less than Wayne Couzens. He identified.
Now, if a police officer is on duty in public, I'd expect them to identify themselves. I've had to cut
on duty's the key.
Because you've brought your angry rhetoric against public
on duty's the key.
These are people who work
on duty's the key.
Bringing up the general risks of policing does little to answer the specific questions being asked. PA responds by focusing on the key issue and asks what actual wrongdoing has taken place. No clear example follows, which becomes noticeable very quickly. Without specific facts, broad concerns alone struggle to justify the intervention.
These officers may identify themselves because they're on duty. They're in uniform.
You're in uniform.
No, you've come to my office.
So
I
what?
don't face the public.
You are now.
I work in an area that none of the public have access.
You're facing a member of the public right now, but you have no right to remove me.
No, I said that I'm not going to.
You have no right to.
Well, let's talk about
You've
it
argued
in
trespass.
in a public place.
Trespass is a civil matter.
It is.
If it's aggravated trespass, you're more than welcome.
You're standing in front of a building.
Said building.
Which you don't have a right to stand in front
Standing.
of. And the moment you start intimidating staff coming in and out of the main
I'm not intimidating anybody. That's a false accusation. You're making a false accusation on record.
An aggravated trespass.
You're making a false accusation.
You're standing in front of the double security door to some infrastructure which carries a risk and a
false
threat.
reporting is a crime under the 1967 Criminal Act. You do realise that, don't you?
Intimidated by your presence, then you'll find yourself liable to be dealt with under aggravated trespass, which is a criminal intent. So I'm going to leave you with the officers who are on duty.
For final time, you're going to
intimidate my staff with your angry rhetoric, which we've heard so many times.
Then learn the
lessons.
lessons.
Conspiracy theories. And people are very enthusiastic about it.
Are you going to identify yourself, sir?
No.
The suggestion that staff are being intimidated marks another major shift in the conversation. There is no clear evidence of disruption, interference, or obstruction being presented. Despite that, the allegation becomes more serious as earlier arguments lose momentum. It gives the impression that the accusation is growing stronger while the supporting facts remain limited.
If you stand out the front of this building, then you may be committing an aggravated trespass because through harassment
Who's the injured party?
If you let me finish.
Who's the injured party?
If you let me finish.
Who's the injured party?
I will answer that question with words.
Member of staff.
If you'll
They're on duty. They cannot be harassed, alarmed, and distressed.
If you let me.
We've played bingo before.
Stand out
and they're
the
on
front.
duty.
If you stand out the front, intimidating them to prevent them doing their lawful activity, coming to work, then you'll find yourself liable.
Have I committed that offence?
You'll find yourself
Am I suspected of committing that offence?
You'll find yourself liable to aggravated
up and up, isn't it?
I will wager you've never filed a lawsuit in anyone. I will wager.
And that's on record, folks.
I'll leave you with these officers.
Please don't
go and enjoy your YouTube channel. I hope your viewer likes watching it. Please leave the premises.
Would you like to identify yourself?
No, sir.
And that's his final word.
The use of phrases like maybe becomes important because it suggests a possibility without demonstrating evidence. PA responds by asking direct questions about who was affected and what activity was actually disrupted. Those questions never receive a clear answer, and the allegation begins to lose weight. In the end, the discussion fades away without action, leaving the strongest impression that the claims could not be fully supported.